WWE scrapped plans for a Bloodline name change. A top WWE star was forced to miss SmackDown, and AEW are expected to sign a new TV deal imminently. Stay tuned for all the deets. Now, someone making a massive splash in all of the headlines across the board this past week and a bit has been Jacob Fatu rocking up on SmackDown, just trashing the joint.
He's a big deal. He's looking very impressive. He's looking in great shape, and he's terrifying. He's a Samoan werewolf.
Yeah, he's incomparable. It really stands out. But another thing that was going on around that time was WWE filing a trademark for Caesar Sikoa. Now, all of us kind of thought, well, Sikoa, Solo's taking Roman's spot, Solo is Caesar, kind of makes sense. But apparently not. According to a report from the Wrestling Observer newsletter, Fatu was originally planned to make his debut as Caesar Sikoa. So it would have been, obviously, instead of what everybody was anticipating, it would have been Jacob.
Yeah, so I think when we saw that trademark, there was a going between, is it a new name for Solo? Is it going to be the impending debut of Jacob Fatu? I think it was kind of, people were in two camps on that one. I think I was in the thought process of, well, Jacob Fatu, he's not a massive name outside of WWE in terms of on a massive platform. Yeah, they'll want to change his name and take a little bit of ownership for that. And it looks like that's kind of been what the original plan was.
Well, apparently they've retained the copyright, so it means they can use it in future should they want to rename someone like Zilla Fatu, who seems to be, really eager to be the next one in line. Yeah. He's also just killing it in GCW right now, so it's not long until he's going to pop up. And he's equally terrifying.
Terrifying. Yeah,
he's the son of Umaga.
Yeah, Umaga's son. I feel like if they do want to bring someone in, then Caesar Sikoa could work for him. It'll just be really interesting to see if they actually use it. They've clearly thought it was for Jacob and thought, this fits. Yeah. But actually they've gone, well, no, we're going to keep with the Jacob Fatu name. I think Jacob Fatu's a better name than tying him to Sikoa.
Yeah, but I think a fun fact here from our editor-in-chief, Aidan Gibbons. The Caesar name obviously calling back to Roman history, notably the Tetrarchy period from 285 to 306 AD, during which Caesar was used to refer to the heirs and any second in command, while the Emperor/Emperor was an Augustus.
So maybe the plan was to have Jacob be the right-hand man and be the Caesar to Solo's Augustus. I just don't see
Sikoa.
Augustus Sikoa being Solo Augustus Sikoa. It doesn't quite roll off the tongue. But yeah, I think it's very clear that Jacob is the second in command. I don't think we need to spell that.
We got Gladiator 2 coming out. They're going to tie it in.
We do.
Have a Gladiator match.
Get Ridley Scott involved.
They'll have that net like from Spartacus and the big trident, and there'll be a big circle pit.
That's what we need. Yeah. Just get Russell Crowe involved. Get him as part of the bloodline.
Yeah.
That's what we need.
It'll be fine. Well, we got some tag matches set for next week, including a tag title match. But it was announced on last night's SmackDown that A-Town Down are going to be defending their titles against DIY or DX.
Yeah, DIY.
On next week's SmackDown, they've been teasing it for some time now. It looks like it's finally going to be happening. Pray that it's going to happen. Otherwise, there's going to be some form of shenanigans that's going to cost it from occurring. But they had a brawl backstage, and it all kind of
kicked off a little bit.
Yeah, kicked off. Champions ended up standing tall. So
we've had little teases of this one for a while. Even back at Clash at the Castle the night before on the SmackDown, they were like, "We won a championship match tonight," and then A-Town Down Under went. No,
we need something to get DIY hot again. I don't know why. I don't know how DIY have managed to have been cooled off. It's like they just put them on the windowsill for too long, and it's like you got these guys waiting here to be used.
It feels like they keep on getting right on that cusp. Like they got a great pop in SmackDown in Glasgow, and it looked like people were really, really wanting that match between the two teams. Then they seem to cool them off, and that's only 2 weeks later. But yeah, I think there's a good chance that they do beat A-Town Down Under, and we start to see that babyface turn for Theory.
Fingers crossed, but it wasn't the only match.
It wasn't indeed. As following a backstage confrontation, we also saw the Street Profits announced to face Pretty Deadly next week, which will be a really fun match. It's always good to see Yes Boys, Pretty Deadly on the screen. They're so much fun. I really, really enjoy them. But that wasn't the only other tag team match. It seems next week's SmackDown is a tag team bonanza because we've got Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill facing Indy Hartwell and Candice LeRae. Of course, this is off the back of what we discussed on earlier news videos video today, so go and check that out for all the details. But there was a little bit of shenanigans in their matches on last night's SmackDown, setting up next week's show.
There was also an absent champion last night on SmackDown. WWE World Heavyweight Champion Damian Priest was scheduled to appear following last night's SmackDown at Madison Square Garden in the dark match main event. However, he took to his Twitter account to post during the afternoon yesterday that travel issues were delaying his getting to the show, and then he further went on to say that he was going to miss the show completely, saying, unfortunately, the honor of main eventing the Garden is not possible tonight. Still haven't taken off, stuck on a plane in the runway, very disappointed, and apologies to my people. This one hurts. Enjoy the show. I'm sure it'll be awesome. You should have just walked up to there, because this is definitely how it would have gone down. You should have went and brayed on that pilot's door with the belt and just kicked off.
And just
made
been
a
like,
really
I
big
need
scene
to,
on a plane.
I need to be there.
That's how it works.
Yeah, it definitely is. It is a shame that he's missed out. He's from New York himself, and it would have been nice for him to have that moment of main eventing in his hometown.
Especially with the title.
With the title. Yeah. And it's just unfortunate that travel issues happens. I'm sure he's also quite, he gets a night off.
Yeah.
He doesn't have to bump. Like on that front.
I mean, luckily, it's Madison Square Garden. It's the home of WWE, so they're going to be back there before long. Hopefully, while he's still got the belt, and he can get back out there in front of his peeps.
Yeah, it's just a shame. It's crazy though that they. Friday night SmackDown, he's traveling on the day off and hoping to get there, and it just shows how tightly run this is.
Yeah,
fly out and get there.
Yeah, you've got to just get there, right? Yeah. It's a constant life of traveling. I don't know how any of them do it. It's
crazy.
Absolutely
wild.
Insane. But jumping across the other side of the fence, we've got a bit of a dramatic announcement.
Of course, it's Forbidden Door this weekend, and one of those matches is for the TNT Championship. It is the ladder match to crown the new TNT champion after Adam Copeland had to vacate it.
It's like a ladder massacre.
It is.
It's going to be brutal.
It's going to be brutal. Now, personally, I was thinking, there's a free slot left there. I didn't look at any tapings this week. I didn't see any spoilery stuff. I thought maybe Dijak would be involved. He's not. Instead, El Phantasmo secured the last spot in the TNT Championship ladder match. He beat AR Fox on Rampage last night, and he will be joining Konosuke Takeshita, Mark Briscoe, Jack Perry, Dante Martin, and Leo Rush to crown the new champion. Out of those names, Sam, who do you think is going to walk away with that TNT title?
I think it's Jack Perry.
Yeah, it's got to be Jack Perry.
I'm excited to see. The name I'm most excited to see here is Leo Rush. Because you just know, putting him in that situation, you just know some crazy stuff. He's going to do some crazy stuff. Some of that ELP as well. It's Leo Rush is going to have a lot of really big standout moments in this one, I think.
It's going to be a really, really fun match.
A lot of stuff happening off the top of ladders.
That's it, yeah. And then you're going to get Takeshita coming in with some power moves that just yeets.
Catching people in the air and then launching them further.
Launching Leo Rush further.
Like, you're traveling toward the ground. Let me help you with a bit of additional speed.
Exactly. The bigger they are, the harder they fall. And if they're 15 foot in the air, it's going to hurt. I think Jack Perry is the obvious choice. Yeah. It builds up that elite.
It writes itself. I am completely in awe of the fact that we've turned around from look at the footage of CM Punk to this.
Done it.
I didn't know that it was even possible that they've done it, and it's just moving from strength to strength, isn't it? So I think giving him some gold, letting him run his mouth further, just let him go, man. Let him go.
I think that's Forbidden Door this weekend.
Extended run as well. Yeah, Forbidden Door this weekend. Of course, keep it with us. There's going to be all the content, all the coverage. But just sticking quickly with AEW for our final news report here. Now, this has been kind of going on for a while, and we've heard this report a couple of times already, so it's sort of take it with a pinch of salt. But All Elite Wrestling are believed to be imminently close to signing a new TV deal with broadcast media partner Warner Brothers Discovery. Apparently, two sides have been in negotiations over a new deal since late 2023, with AEW's exclusivity deal with Warner believed to be expiring in a few weeks. So basically, Warner have exclusivity to kind of make offers right now.
Yes.
AEW could, in theory, wait, but then then it's open waters then, right? So there's going to be a lot of people coming to them wanting to offer money potentially from all different sort of sectors.
Yeah.
But according to the Wrestling Observer newsletter, Warner Brothers or WBD, are expecting to close on a new deal with AEW imminently. Although the major specifics of the deal aren't believed to have been sort of hashed out.
Yes.
As of right now.
As of right now, it looks like Tony said on the media call the other day in the run up to Forbidden Door that they're almost at that finish line. They're almost at the touchdown. They're almost going to get that deal signed. He seemed quite excited about it. Obviously,
I want $5 billion. Tony, we're not giving you $5. I want $5 billion.
But you want a good, deal for it. And it looks like, they're still to hash out certain details, which is why they've not signed, but it looks like it is as close as it's ever been. And, you know, props to AEW getting it seems like they're going to get a really, really good deal out of this one.
Well, there was rumor that they were going to get more than they're on by quite a margin, but maybe not as much as they'd initially anticipated, which is why there might not have been a deal hashed out quite yet. But then it was including all sorts of like over the top stuff, and there was like, you know, there's all the different rights and all of the different kind of licenses you've got to bring into account. You know, they've got partners now for, I think they're doing pay-per-view packages online. They're uploading all of the old stuff.
So it does look like it's all that stuff.
Fold in, then there's all that kind of stuff needs to be paid off and all worked out. So there's like probably all this red tape they've got to kind of really finally untangle. But it was also noted in the report that although talks are going well, and despite WBD's belief about a deal being signed, until anything is actually signed, then it does mean that the deal can just completely change. Yeah,
so like as you mentioned earlier, the exclusivity period, it is getting very, very close to when that is up. There was rumors that it was the end of June. There was rumors that it was the end of July. No one's quite sure. But as Sam had mentioned, if it does go out of that exclusivity window, AEW can look and find other deals elsewhere and see how much money they'd get, maybe increasing the amount if they wanted to stay with WBD, which I feel personally they're going to stay there. I think HBO Max is a great addition if they can get their pay-per-views on there. It's just, it makes sense. It's very consumer friendly for to stay with the same place they're already at, and they're often the most watched show on the channels, aside from like Big Bang Theory. So it makes sense that WBD would want to keep them and get that deal signed ASAP. I'm thinking it'll be August we'll get the announcement.
Yeah, I reckon so. I think before All In.
Yep, exactly.
Have that big kind of lead into
be like,
All In.
Hey, it's on HBO Max.
Kind of, right, like leading in with that. So I think, we will probably be reporting on that again in a matter of weeks. But as we said, keep it with us. It's Forbidden Door this weekend. So make sure you're here. We're going to have all the content, all the standard coverage. We're going to have live reactions. It's all popping off. It'll be here, youtube.com/cultaholic/live.
Oh, yes.
I'm going to do the backslash from
That's
my
it, there you
perspective.
go.
There you go. Ooh, forward slash.
But
But other than that, we might be back later on if any more news breaks. But have a lovely weekend in the meantime.